In addition to possibly laying the groundwork for Spider-Man, Brand New Day, Daredevil Born Again is making a lasting impression on the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Daredevil Born Again is already having an impact on the entire franchise since it brings back some of the best characters from the MCU chronology. Some of the series' events appear to support a strong hypothesis that Born Again will directly build up Spider-Man, Brand New Day in the MCU. Following his debut in Netflix's Daredevil, Matt Murdock's journey moves forward in Daredevil Born Again. At the end of No Way Home, with no resources, no friends, and no one left who remembers who he is because of Doctor Strange's curse, Peter Parker was last seen plunging into oblivion. Given that Born Again and Brand New Day are set in New York City, it stands to reason that the social and legal challenges Matt encounters in his program would directly affect Peter. It's crucial to examine the original material in order to see how these stories might relate to one another within the MCU. As part of Tony Stark's pro-registration side, Peter Parker comes out as himself on Brand New Day, which takes place in the comics following the Civil War. That choice has disastrous results. Peter is forced to flee after Aunt May is shot, and he eventually strikes a deal with Mephisto to save her life, even if it means ending his marriage to Mary Jane and erasing everyone's recollection of his hidden identity. The Superhuman Registration Act was still in effect at the time, and any hero who did not operate under government supervision was viewed as a criminal. It was challenging for Peter to be Spider-Man in that setting without running the risk of being arrested. He was continuously opposed by the populace, law enforcement, and supervillains who were emboldened by his vulnerability. To put it briefly, Brand New Day is about Peter Parker attempting to reinvent himself in a world that no longer believes in him, not merely about erasing the past. The Sokovia Accords from Captain America, Civil War are the MCU's version of the Superhuman Registration Act. Superheroes are not operating freely even though the MCU may have passed past the Sokovia Accords. According to She-Hulk, attorney at law, the governmental limitations on costumed heroes were lifted when the Sokovia Accords were overturned. However, a new kind of obstacle, one that is more targeted and personal, is introduced in Daredevil Born Again. Now that he is the mayor of New York City, Wilson Fisk, also known as Kingpin, has the legal authority to carry out his revenge against Daredevil and other vigilantes. By Episode 7, Fisk had put together a task team to carry out the anti-vigilante campaign that he had been elected on. In his discourse, vigilantes are portrayed as public threats who harm property, put bystanders in danger, and function without supervision. He is essentially establishing a localized version of the Civil War era, when only donning a mask might turn someone into a criminal. All unregistered or unsanctioned heroes in New York, including Spider-Man and Daredevil, would logically be impacted by this development. It's not a stretch to think Peter Parker is in a similar situation if Matt Murdock is eventually portrayed in Daredevil Born Again as being persecuted or driven underground as a result of this legislation. It is entirely consistent with the notion that Peter is once more a menace, as Jonah Jameson consistently asserted, given his anonymity following No Way Home. Kingpin's vigilante legislation may make it possible for the rest of the plot to be portrayed in the MCU, since Spider-Man, No Way Home adopted many aspects of the Brand New Day comic and its predecessor One More Day. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to my channel for more videos.